Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Your Worship, the Mayor of Arima, Councillor Lisa Morris Julian, the Honorable Anthony Garcia, Member of Parliament for Arima and Minister of Education, the Honorable Camille Robinson Regis, Member of Parliament for Aruka Maloney and Minister of Planning and Development, Brigadier General Ansel Antwine, Member of Parliament for Dabadi O'Meara, Mr. Himdat Ramuta, Deputy Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Newman George, Chairman of HDC and other board members here present, Ms. Esme Rollins Charles, Special Advisor to the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Councillors, Mr. Brent Lyons, Managing Director of HDC and Divisional Heads of HDC, contractors on this project, beneficiaries of the Ministry's housing program, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, indeed, a very pleasant good morning to you all. It is in fact an honor and a privilege for me this morning to be here to mark the completion of phase one of this development, aptly called Rivers Run Through. But when I drove through here this morning, I want to continue on that phrase that says River Run Through, because it seems to me that I can aptly name it River Runs Through a very serene, green, clean, and peaceful environment, ladies and gentlemen. Very impressive. And we know that this project was started in 2016. We are delighted to be able to distribute 76 of these housing units today to successful recipients of the Ministry's housing program. As we symbolically hand over these packages to this individual this morning, the government recognizes the importance of owning your own homes, which is one of the basic desires of all of us. To me, there is something magical when you own your own homes. It gives a sense of achievement, a sense of accomplishment. Almost when our parents tells us, you become man or woman when you have the keys for your own home. And I believe today, we are satisfying the desires of people here in Rivers Run Through. So give yourself a wonderful applause. Over the years, we have witnessed the increasing growth pulled and correlated demand for housing along the east-west urban corridor. As a responsible and caring government, we have listened and responded to the call to action in providing access to affordable housing solutions to this region. In addition to this development, we are working on completing other developments in neighboring communities, such as Stress Trail in Diabade, Bonaire South in Aruka, which also started in 2016. In Mount Hope, we have Mahogany Court Housing Development, which is being constructed under a public-private partnership arrangement. This was the first project undertaken using the PPP model. Last month, we launched another in Chin Chin Kunupia, and there are others that will come on stream shortly. While we cannot provide houses for all persons in Trinidad and Tobago who are requesting houses, rest assured that this government will pursue relentlessly to provide as much as possible given budgetary and other constraints. This administration intends to pursue this model of PPP as well as the Housing Construction Incentive Program to continue its accelerated housing program throughout the country. Under these arrangements, applicants can access mortgages valued as much as $1.5 million or as low as $750,000 or less, so that every income group enlisting on the database can be catered for. In this way, we can provide mortgage units at affordable prearranged prices to pre-qualified applicants on the housing database, utilizing Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company Limited, 2% and 5% mortgage interest rates. It is calculated that more than 6,000 families who have applied for the public housing program will benefit from these revised interest rates, which are also available to persons wishing to purchase on the open market. Ladies and gentlemen, very much incentives. The PPP model, the Housing Construction Incentive Program, and the Aided Self-Help Program and other housing initiatives implemented by this administration are all geared towards increasing the public housing stock and assisting the ministry to meet its mandate to provide affordable housing options, while reducing the burden of expenditure on the state. We view these housing initiatives as a win-win scenario for all stakeholders, as they will increase all kinds of opportunities within our economic landscape including the creation of direct and indirect jobs that will generate revenue streams. You may have noticed that 6 small contractors were used on this project. 6 small contractors were used on this project. That was intentional, as we wanted to see micro and small contractors playing a greater role in the public housing construction program, unlike what we saw happening under the previous administration. A turn, ladies and gentlemen, so that small contractors can benefit. We want to ensure that the small entrepreneurs have the same opportunities to grow and develop, just as the medium and large construction firms. This measure also ensures a level of competitiveness that will drive the cost of construction down, thereby making home ownership more affordable to our citizens. The Housing Development Program, under the astute leadership of Chairman Newman George and Managing Director Brent Lyons, implemented a 22-point certification quality management program in 2016 to guarantee improved quality of its construction projects. This means that there's a sign-off and approval of work at every stage of the construction to mitigate against what has been a complaint for several years of shoddy workmanship and make the contractors accountable for delivering the highest and best qualities. And I mean, as we drive through here this morning, just looking at face value, I think we can say that the shoddy workmanship has been eradicated based on this project. So that once the contractor has delivered quality work, he or she will be given the opportunity to construct other units. Because this is beneficial to both the contractor as well as the state, as there is no further mobilization cost, there is sustained employment, and there is no slowing down of a project because, of course, the learning curve has already been achieved with respect to design and construction techniques. Incentivizing private sector investors to get involved in the construction of public housing, including providing oversight by the Ministerial Committee on the construction sector, will allow the state housing apparatus to focus its limited resources on the provision and maintenance of public rental accommodation for those who are unable to service a mortgage. Contrary to what has been said by certain commentators, the provision of rental units has always been an integral part of the PNM's housing sector agenda. One only has to review the housing policy of 2002, as well as the housing subcommittee reports on the Strategic Development Plans Vision 2020 and 2030, in which it's clearly articulated that the provision of rental units remain an important component of this administration's housing program. And I will boast that every time I get an opportunity to speak of some of the achievements. In the last 2 years, the HEC has completed 7 projects, which provided 1,856 units. We've turned the southern 5 new projects. The first, we're here today, River Run Through, which is now complete, or about to be completed, and will be distributing some packages today. The HEC has also allocated 2,345 homes over the last 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that deserves a wonderful applause. Additionally, under this ministry, the Land Settlement Agency has started to offer statutory leases to eligible certificate of comfort holders, which is the first time, and I will say it again, I said it in point 14, it's the first time that this has been done by any government. So that people have moved from certificate of comfort, statutory lease, which means they can now go to the bank to use it as collateral. Ladies and gentlemen, another wonderful applause for the Land Settlement Agency. It is said that it takes a village to raise a child. And I believe that that concept holds true today as it was yesterday and many years ago. While the village may have been changing, I think that we can still raise the children given our community spirits. So let us bring families together in communities created on the premise of affordable living where they can feel comfortable, safe, and secure. The HEC has managed to turn its housing development into welcoming, nurturing spaces with the construction of play parks in several communities. In addition, the communities are strategically located close to other family-oriented facilities and amenities to ensure that there are lots of opportunities for holistic growth and development. I also want to take advantage of the fact that there have been an allocation to these deserving servicemen and women within this development. And I believe there's a real opportunity for them to become active members of their communities. And I urge them, those members of the Defense Force Protective Services and law enforcement, as you reside in your communities, bring to bear on those communities your professionalism, your training, your discipline. Take the lead in those communities to organize groups and communities because you have the background. You're supposed to add values to these communities. River Run Through should be no different to those members of the Defense and Protective Services. And as you receive your packages today to your house, I urge you that it is now your responsibility to make it into a home. Let your homes be grounded in the motto of our country, of discipline, production, and tolerance, founded on a bedrock of spiritual consciousness. Because if we want to raise those communities, we have to start from the homes. And this is where you all come in as parents and guardians. Let's do it, as I said, based on production, tolerance, and discipline, and a bedrock of spiritual consciousness. You have an opportunity today for those who receive their packages to define the River Run Through community as an outstanding community. Because a number of times we label communities, and the only reason communities get labeled is based on, really and truly, on the activities that takes place in those communities. So let your activities be one of positiveness, let it be one of community building, so that River Run Through will stand above the others, including Point 14, but stand above the others as a signal, an important community throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. And as I sat down there, an idea came to me. You know, at times on a national level, we twin cities, like Port of Spain was twinned with the city of St. Catherine and so on, in Toronto, in Canada. I believe that we can also twin ACC communities. Why doesn't River Run Through, for instance, twin with Lakeview in Point 14? And why don't other communities twin with one another? You can imagine the multiplier effect if one day we have all-out sports and family, all the ACC communities competing together. What an interesting sight that would be. In Point 14 yesterday, we saw the activities of the Lakeview persons, where they've already established communities, participating in a number of activities together as a group. And I challenge River Run Through to do the same, ladies and gentlemen, because at the end of the day, the community can only do as well as you, the individuals, come together in collaboration and cooperation for the strengthening of your community. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Permanent Secretary and the staff of the ministry, the chairman and the board of agency, and Mr. Lyons and his team, the contractors, the service providers, and others who have worked tirelessly to make this event possible. So let us continue to enjoy this ambience, and let this river that is running through here be one that brings healthy and strong water, or living water, to this community. May God bless us all, and indeed bless our country. I thank you very much.